What's up, guys? Welcome to After the Scales podcast, episode one. We're introducing our brand new podcast that we'll be having on our pages. I'm Jacob Dove from Phenom Motorsports, with our hosts Shaun Blight from Canadian Racing Tours and Robert Clements from Late Nation. We wanted to introduce what we're going to be doing on this podcast, and we're going to start off with Shaun here and introduce what he does with Canadian Racing Tours.
Hey guys, I am Shaun. I run Canadian Racing Tours. You can find me every social media at CDN Racing Tours. I'm a photographer, videographer. I'll be doing some writing this year for 357 World of Dirt. I'll be doing some social media stuff for a few of the different 410 sprint car drivers, including Jacob Dykstra, who's Canadian, and he's going to be traveling to Ohio, Pennsylvania, doing a lot of big races, Eldora and Charlotte at the end of the year. So you can find my photos as well at Dirt Late Nation once I get down to checking out some late model stuff, and can't wait to get started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'm Dirt Lake Nation, as you know. Also, people call me Bert, but yeah, you can find me on Instagram or basically any platform, but I'm mostly known on Instagram. I have 4.5 thousand followers. I am one of the biggest media pages for dirt late models, so you definitely check that out. It's kind of hard to miss, but we were gonna have people like Max McLaughlin, Drake Troutman, and a lot more sprint car guys on this podcast. So it's definitely something you'd want to stay tuned to. But yeah, that's basically it for me.
Yeah, and Bert, you're talking about Max McLaughlin there. We should be getting him on our episode two podcast. A super versatile racer. We can't wait to get him on. Kind of tell the audience how you were able to reach out to him.
So basically, there was one day I was talking to Shaun, and I was kind of like, hey, I mean, I got to get this going. Like, I was falling tremendously in my popularity and my numbers for my likes. So he mentioned, you ever tried starting a podcast? And I actually sat there and thought about it, and we kind of let it go on a little bit. And then I messaged Jacob, and we kind of took that way and kind of started this all up. So then, so then whatever that happened, I messaged Dirt King Apparel. They're the guys that usually run Team 22 merchandise, and I was like, "Hey, can I get Matt? Was there any chance you could get up to Max and ask him see if he wanted to be on a podcast?" Sure enough, I was in school at the time, and he said, "Yeah, I could do my best." So as time went on, 2 hours later, I looked down at my phone and to see that Max is following me, and he's already shot me a DM. So it goes from there, and now we've kind of just sparked it all up, and hopefully we can have him on.
Yeah, that'll be pretty awesome. As the senior citizen of this podcast, I was a big fan of Max's dad, Mike. I didn't watch him drive modifieds, but I remember driving the Bush series, which is now the Xfinity series, obviously, and had a lot of success in that series. And living just south of Toronto, I've been able to watch Max race a lot of the big block modified stuff here nearby, Canandaigua, Ransomville, Weedsport, and making the jump to late models is pretty exciting. I mean, the guy's driven asphalt super modifieds, asphalt modifieds, Xfinity, big block modifieds, like you name it, the guy's driven it. So pretty excited to have him on. It'll be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely can't wait for that. And kind of jumping off of that, with us at Phenom Motorsports, we had our Parked It podcast series that we were doing. We were interviewing our guys that we had a part of our program, and it was a super fun thing. And with our BC Sim Racing team, and we kind of have steered in a different direction, not just focusing so much on like the sim racing stuff, but more on the real life racing because obviously that's really important. But I think with this podcast, it'll be really good to hear not only from our guys that we have, but guys that are running national series and making their way up to everyone's goal. Like if you're a race car driver, you want to obviously make it to the World of Outlaws or make it up to NASCAR or anything that these guys are really trying to shoot for, and hearing how they got there or how they plan on getting there. So it's definitely going to be exciting for us. I know Bert has been really good behind the scenes with giving us the dirt late model content, and we're excited to have Shaun be a part of it too, with his background in another country. Obviously, with Canadian racing is obviously big, and just getting an overall good sense of all different parts of the country. Like I'm located in Florida, Bert's in Kentucky, and Shaun's in Canada, and everything is showing how much fans are really growing in the motorsports. I just went to East Bay for the Winter Nationals, and it was crazy how many people I met from different areas of the U.S. and Australia and Canada, just to see dirt racing. It's really growing a big sport. So
Yeah, it's really cool how, I mean, one of the positive things that came out of COVID, and myself included, I one of the first things I did was get a Dirt Vision and Flow Racing subscription, because that was the only thing going. And even up here in Canada, I go to a lot of the 360 sprint car races and crate late model races around here, and the drivers notice how post COVID the stands up here are a lot more packed than they were before. So obviously people were doing the same thing, and dirt racing in general is just at a all-time high, I feel like. And it's nice to see the stands packed when you go to these local tracks. So I'm trying to get to as many as I can. You can check out my schedule. It's pretty packed starting actually be at Port Royal, weather permitting. I'll be at Port Royal Speedway for their opener on Saturday. And after that, April through World Finals in Charlotte, I'm going to be at a racetrack somewhere. So pretty pumped to get 2024 going.
yeah, it's definitely awesome, and I had a pretty jam-packed couple weeks too with all the racing down here in Florida. The Lucas Dirt Show is great, and with Jonathan Davenport winning, and then I had a lot of great conversations with some of the drivers, and it's always nice and refreshing, going to races and being able to just approach guys and talk to them like they're, a regular person. It's hard for the motorsports industry nowadays to come close to even like NASCAR guys, and it's always great when those guys who do make it come back and they race in the sprint car, race in a midget, rate in a late model. So definitely had a lot of conversations. I got to meet Scott Bloomquist, legend in the late model scene. I met so
That's an
many.
interesting guy.
Yeah, I met so many guys that people look up to, and I know Bert was pretty excited. I was able to do some collab stuff for his page, and it was just a great scene. I mean, it was the biggest turnout ever seen at East Bay, probably the biggest dirt race I've ever been to, as far as, with the track closing after this year, just everybody came down to watch. So it was really
Right.
cool to see.
We obviously hate to see it go as well. It's one that's had a lot of history at that track, including Don O'Neill with his most famous slide after getting hit by Jonathan Davenport. It's sad to see it go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the racing there has always been good. It doesn't seem to matter what the series is, and you always really hate to see tracks like that go. And I'm not a late model guy, but I got to thank Bert for getting me kind of excited to go to some late model races this year. So it's kind of started. I went to Charlotte last year for the World Finals, and I've got I'm thinking of trying to get to the dirt late model dream at Eldora. I'll definitely be at Port Royal in April for the Lucas Oil Show, and probably Sharon Speedway for the two late model shows there. So World of Outlaw shows. So that'll be pretty cool.
With Shaun sharing where he's got planned coming up, what about you, Bert? What's coming up for you as far as, the racing scene? Obviously, it's pretty cold and coming off winter. Things are going to be
Mhm.
slowly starting up back again after get the ball rolling.
I don't want to hear you guys complain about cold.
Now, basically, with Dirt Lake Nation itself, with Richmond Raceway in Kentucky, and right now, we're working on getting something else going for the next year. Hopefully, I'll still be in the infield where I'm at, along with my dad. He could possibly be the title holder for the Super Stocks, but we've got that going on. We'll kind of promote that track a little bit. Hopefully, raise my popularity and kind of get a job there. Hopefully, but got that. We also got Shaun. Most of my pictures are coming from him after he gets to most of the late model races because he's just the photographer for Dirt Lake Nation. But other than that, it's just same old, trying to grow. Make sure you share because it's helping us a lot and it's keeping me here, if I'm going to be honest. Like, it's dirt racing is a good thing. So we just need to keep everything how it is and keep it growing.
Yeah, and that's awesome that you mentioned that. And I know for ourselves at Phenom Motorsports, we're obviously big with the media stuff, but just trying to grow our presence. And I just wanted to quickly, since we're doing this introduction podcast, to kind of hear what your guys' goals are for, a couple months from now or a year from now, like where you kind of want to take what you guys are doing and apply it.
Well, for me, it's, I kind of picked a camera up back in the spring of last year. It's something I've always wanted to do. Started an Instagram page and I never really thought it would take off as quickly as it has. And the contacts and friends that I've made over the past less than a year has been pretty awesome. So um, kind of go with the flow, see if we can't all three of us kind of grow our brands using this podcast and kind of sharing each other's work and through our photography and videography and stuff. It's pretty exciting going forward.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then,
I know Bert's shared some of his goals in his past on our other podcast, but I mean, have those goals for you changed at all, or you shooting even more for? Obviously, you want more followers, but any other achievements that you want to accomplish with Dirt Lake Nation?
I also want to get more into. I want to be known by the big guys. Like, I've already known. I've since the last podcast. I've been followed by the Gundeckers. I've been followed by Spencer Hughes, Drake Troutman, Kyle Bronson, all of those bigger guys, and even Bobby Pierce commented on some of my posts. Just last week, I'm pretty sure it was. It's just I want to be more known, and I want people to know who I am when they see me. So I just want to be more around the world of dirt, and I want to be the most relied dirt late model media page on the planet.
For sure, definitely shoot big on your goals, and I'm sure with some hard work, you'll definitely achieve those. So, I just wanted to quickly mention to our people watching that some exciting stuff coming up with Phenom Motorsports. We were stoked to hear that micro sprints are coming to iRacing, and that's one of our favorite grassroots race cars that we got guys racing for us that race them in real life, and we can't wait to get those on our sim racing side of things. Our guys have been practicing and racing for fun and competing, and we got a few events coming up. We'll have our Phenom 500 that our guy Jesse Martinez will be hosting. So far, we got $100 on the line to win. Should be a great 2 day event with qualifying, and then the next day, the main event. We're also going to be having the Florida iRacing series starting with the micro sprints. Our guy Tyler Landis will be ahead of that, and we'll be kind of going hand in hand with the payouts and everything. So far, we also got $100 and $50 coming from our guy Tim Dotson. So it's a great thing that we got people chipping in to, get sim racing guys a chance to make some money and have fun with it. So we're looking forward to that. And yeah, is there any guys that you wanted to mention that you're excited for coming up?
Well, I'm open to a lot of ideas with this podcast. I'm curious to see if there's any listeners or viewers, if they have anyone that they want us to talk to, hear from. I'm going to be on the road a lot this summer. I'm excited to kind of take Mike down and talk to see if I can't reach out to some crew members and um, dirt racing personalities and just kind of grab some quick interviews and stuff along the way. So definitely stay tuned. Because yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, and I there's a lot of people that I'd like to get on here and hear from. So I'm curious to see who other people would like us to reach out to.
Yeah, so with that, we appreciate Shaun and Bert for hopping on for our introduction video. We can't wait to see where this goes. After the scales is kind of a cool thing that we were kind of brainstorming about, naming it. Obviously, we had our Parked It podcast named after one of our racing heroes, Brian Clausen. So we wanted to come up with a cool thing that's kind of after the race. So after the scales was kind of a catchy thing to come up with. So, just behind the scenes content. We all three of us love racing and dirt racing and grassroots, especially. So we're excited to get anybody that's interested that wants to come on and talk and have a good conversation. So yeah, for everyone watching, you guys can find us at Phenom Motorsports on Instagram. You can find Shaun at CDN Racing Tours and Bert at Dirt Lake Nation. All of our Instagram pages will be in the description, and we appreciate everyone watching.